In China, it's either natural or nothing at all. At least that's the impression you get when it comes to medicine. All right, down the hatch.
I was laughing because your hand was like shaking like a shit in the dark when you were doing it. No.
Number 1, 中国第一名凉茶。
再喝，有的是。再喝，再够。
Drink it.
It's just too.
I don't believe it. Is it that bad? Let me try
I'm
it.
not exaggerating, it's horrible.
Yeah. It's dribbling down your chin, Rick. Oh. Xixix's got no problem with it. Very good. What was happening there was something that is, well, I thought it was quite funny. This stuff is called liang cha, it's medicinal tea. And part of the documentary that I shot, we talked about it. We met someone who runs one of those traditional tea shops. And these are kind of used to cure pretty much everything in China. You get people that live in the more rural areas, they trust this stuff more, even people in the cities. In fact, the most educated people, doctors even like my wife, they will always go for something like this first before they ever try any sort of Western medicine. And what it is, it's an incredibly bitter concoction of different plants and animal bits and whatever, and they can cure anything from the common cold to a cough, to a headache, to a bad stomach, you know, pretty much everything. They just mix different bits and pieces together, and it's quite cool. You can, if you want to see the whole thing, you know, as always, go check out the documentary. But that's not what this video is all about. This video is to talk about the sort of lack of faith that people have in Western medicine compared to Chinese traditional medicine, or TCM as it's called, traditional Chinese medicine. One thing that we always have to remember is that China's only very recently opened up. You know, we all see China with these amazing fancy skyscrapers, it's sort of brilliant cities with all their lights and everything. But it was only 30 years ago that everybody was living in poverty. It was not a good thing. If you look back at old footage, or if you hear the tales of what was going on, people were struggling, and they didn't have the luxury of going to a modern hospital and getting diagnosed with modern machinery and getting, you know, sort of dosed medicine and all these kinds of things. They had to rely on traditional medicine. And it's something that, because of tradition, survived through all of the purges and all of the nonsense that was going on in China at the time. So, you know, the grandmothers would tell their daughters and their family, you know, how they can cure certain ailments, and all of that stuff survived. And it's still very strong in the mindset of all Chinese people. So if someone gets sick, they listen to the old remedies of, first of all, drink hot water. The whole thing about liang qi and ri qi. Don't eat these kind of foods, don't drink these kind of foods, don't eat cold stuff. It's all in the mindset, and even the most modern of Chinese people believe in this sort of thing because they grew up with their mothers and their grandmothers, and even the doctors telling them that this is how it is. And I may not have mentioned this before, but my wife is a doctor, and if I ever get sick, even though she's a GP, she's, you know, a qualified GP, she works for a hospital, she works in a clinic, she also will always try to get me to take some kind of traditional medicine, Chinese medicine, or go for that cupping, you know, the Baohuo Guan, where they put those cups on your back, or acupuncture. She's taken me for acupuncture before. So even a trained medical doctor in China will still always default to these sort of traditional ways of curing things. And it's not only because of that sort of what I explained before, the traditions being passed down, and you know, the fact that China was going through all the turmoil and stuff, but it's also because when it comes to Western medicine, it's very often given and dosed out very incorrectly, because there's a misunderstanding of how it works in China in a lot of ways. You know, you get a lot of unqualified people. A lot of the over-the-counter things you can buy in China as well are actually restricted in the West. You know, you can go and buy over-the-counter antibiotics if you want in certain places. You can buy, for weight loss, you can buy ephedrine if you want in China. It's still being given out. There's all these things that, well, they're basically illegal in the West because people realize how bad it is for you. But China hasn't really caught on. And they also have this this mentality of, oh, you're sick, just bombard yourself with all the different kinds of medicine until it's fixed. And that's why you get like a lot of antibiotic abuse, overprescription of antibiotics. And then, you know, it's just like, oh, just take this. If the traditional Chinese medicine isn't working, then just take huge amounts of antibiotics and every other medicine under the sun until it goes away. So yes, that is the current state in China at the moment. Even if you go to a clinic that looks very modern with all modern equipment, they will still try to give you some kind of a traditional Chinese medicine drip or an antibiotic drip, or they'll mix a bunch of herbs and stuff together and give it to you. Even the biggest, most modern hospitals have a whole section just for traditional Chinese medicine, where they have ground up bits of animals and plants which they go and mix together to make concoctions. It's expensive actually, but you'll find the majority of the sort of middle-aged and older generation will only go to the hospital for traditional Chinese medicine, and only if that's not working will they resort to Western medicine. So now you know if you go to China, this is the whole attitude towards medicine. I still find it fascinating. I'm on the fence of whether it works or not. I've seen it work sometimes. I've also seen people who have a very serious condition take traditional Chinese medicine, and of course it doesn't work. Like people with cancer, they resort to it and it unfortunately never works as well as, say, chemotherapy or something like that. And don't be surprised if your Chinese friends or Chinese family or your in-laws or something distrust Western medicine. And if you are like me in a position where you're married into a Chinese family, you know, expect them to come over to your house and throw the ice out of your freezer. They'll throw it away because it's bad for your health. They'll do things like, if you have a child, they will constantly try to feed them traditional Chinese medicine, and they will constantly try to like bundle them up to the point of heat exhaustion and all these things. Just remember, it's part of the culture. It's something that you have to either put your foot down or accept, and there's nothing else you can really do about it, because you won't change their mind, that's for sure. I'm gonna leave you guys with an extended version of that scene where Rick was forced to drink this sort of liang cha. It's quite funny. He developed a cough while we were on the trip, and you know what? No lie, you can ask him yourself. It actually helped stop his cough, and I guess it is something. There's some kind of herb in there that does help. And after drinking this, and he had to take it away and he had to drink it over the next couple of days. It actually cured his cough. Maybe it's more of a psychosomatic thing that you don't want to drink this incredibly bitter tea, which you don't really know what's in there. It could be bugs or whatever. And so your body's like, you know what, I'm just going to cure myself because I don't want to drink that anymore. Maybe that's what it is. Either way, you know, I'm going to leave you with that scene, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Until then, you know the drill. As always, stay awesome. It's Rick's turn. Got to finish the whole cup.
All right,
let's do it. All right.
It's not that bad, is it?
Yeah, let's see you finish the whole lot then.
It's quite bitter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty bitter.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to drink the whole cup.
Yeah, but you will, and you got to drink 2. That's liang bei.
Liang bei?
Yeah, that'll be effective. If you drink 2, it'll fix it.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, it will.
Sure, it will be. Of course, you'd say that.
Yeah. See, the doctor says so.
eBay will go, man.
See, I'm not lying. Oh.
I'm not spilling it.
Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words.
You're gonna film me drink the whole cup?
Yes, I am. Yeah, that's to eat afterwards to get rid of the bitter taste.
Oh.
Yeah, after you finish the cup, you eat that. It's like dried orange peel.
Oh, yeah, that. Stop filming me.
I have to film you. Yeah, go for it. Almost there, Rick. You almost finished your first cup. 对。对。 Everyone's putting the
Everyone's
pressure on.
waiting for.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Every single Friday, catch another SerpentZA right here. Oh yeah, and Wednesday we've got Lao 86, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the most important one, ADVChina, every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.